Welcome back, everybody, to another build showcase. Today I'm going to be showing you a build I'm super excited for once Renegades comes out tomorrow, and we're going to jump into why. Now, this build was recommended to me by one of my viewers and friends. This build is a Void Hunter build focused on the Graviton Forfeit. Now, the Graviton Forfeit, as well as the Mobius Quiver Shadow Shot, are getting buffed in Renegades. And so this is why this build is going to be so good. So, jumping straight in to our Void subclass. Like I said, we are using the Night Stalker Void subclass for Hunters. We're going to be using the Mobius Quiver super ability. Now, you could use whatever super ability you want on this. However, Mobius Quiver is getting a buff. It is going to be one of the highest damaging supers in the game come Renegades. So, definitely recommend using this. Now, for our abilities, we are using Gambler Dodge. That way we can get our melee back. The higher your melee stat, the more energy you get back towards your melee every time you dodge. For jump, it's whatever your preference. I like using triple jump, snare bomb, and then for our grenade, I am using the vortex grenade. I prefer it, but if you have a preference of a different grenade, you can use that. However, I do recommend the vortex grenade just because of how long it lasts and that it pulls enemies in and makes it easier to focus them. For our aspects, now I've gone back and forth a little bit on the aspects here. I personally really like Trapper's Ambush because I can force an invis, or Vanishing Step for that matter, because I can force invis. Vanishing Step with this will work really well because what's happening with Graviton Forfeit is they're improving the invisibility, and what that means is while you're invisible, your melee recharges faster, your weapons reload faster, and your class stat is greatly increased. Now, when the update comes out, the changes that they'll be making are basically every time you go invisible, you'll gain a stack up to 3 times. And with that stack, it will improve even further the grenade, melee, and class ability recharge rates, as well as, at 3 buffs, successive triggers of invisibility will give a Void Overshield. So you're going to be super tanky, you're going to be getting all your abilities back super fast, and you're going to be able to stay invisible for an extended period of time. So for the aspects, you could use Trapper's Ambush, you could use Vanishing Step. However, I have had the most success with Stylish Executioner in this slot. Defeating a weakened, suppressed, or volatile target grants invisibility and true sight. After performing a Stylish Execution, your next melee attack, while invisible, weakens targets. And then for our second one, we are using On the Prowl. One of the benefits of On the Prowl is the 3 fragment slots, so you can get an extra fragment in there. However, if you prefer to use Trapper's Ambush or Vanishing Step in conjunction with Stylish Executioner, you absolutely can. On the Prowl, after entering invisibility, it marks a nearby combatant for you and your team. Defeating it makes a weakening cloud of smoke, makes you invisible, and allies invisible when you go through it, and then when the priority targets are defeated, you and nearby allies gain increased weapon reload speed and stability for a short duration, as well as grenade, melee, and class energy. This combos super well with the fact that we're going to be getting stacking Graviton Forfeit stacks that increase our ability regen. And so, just overall, these two are what you're going to run with the best success. Now, if you are enjoying this build showcase, make sure you leave a like and subscribe down below. That way you don't miss any more build showcases like this, as well as leave a comment. Let me know if there's a build that you want me to showcase that you've been enjoying or that you've seen and you want to know if it's actually as strong as they say. Moving on to our Fragments, the Echo of Expulsion. Void ability final blows cause targets to explode. Now this combos with On the Prowl. When you make a weakening cloud of invisibility and targets pass through, they will become weakened and take constant damage from the smoke and explode, causing other things to explode. Very good combo there. As well as it's giving us +10 to our super, which is nice. Next, Echo of Harvest. Defeating a weakened target creates an Orb of Power and a Void Breach. Important. We want to be getting as many Orbs of Power as possible to be getting all of our abilities back even faster, and then Void Breach and Orb of Power are going to also grant us Devour. Devour is what's going to keep us alive. We need Devour so that we continue to get our health back and continue to stay alive in all of this. Moving over here, Echo of Dilation. This one isn't necessary, so I'm actually using this one specifically for the plus 10 weapon and plus 10 super. You can change that out if you want to. Change it out to Provision, giving you more melee energy when you use your grenades. Melee Final Blows, you could use Echo of Leeching. Start health regeneration. You could do Echo of Persistence, the increased duration of invisibility over shield and Devour. However, rather than taking 10 away from our weapon, I thought adding 10 to our weapons would be better in this scenario. And then, last but not least, we are using Echo of Undermining. Now, I know this takes away 20 from our grenade stat, however, adding the weakened to our grenades is huge because that will allow us to proc Stylus Executioner consistently. Every time we throw a grenade, any enemies we hit with it will become weakened, which means any enemies we kill that have been hit by our grenade will subsequently explode, as well as grant us invisibility and continue that gameplay cycle. And now moving on to our armor and mods. Like I said, we are using the Graviton Forfeit, which is our primary exotic for this, which is going to be buffed in Renegades. Now, for our stats on all of these, you're going to want a high class stat, you're going to want a high weapon stat, you're going to want a high super stat, and then grenade and melee as is, whatever you can get onto those. The reason we want a high class, high weapon, and high super. High class stat allows us to use our Gambler's Dodge frequently to get our melee back. A high weapon stat. This is primarily a weapons build. You're going to be shooting a lot. It's not just throw your abilities out constantly, and while you will have your abilities back pretty much all the time due to the Graviton Forfeit, you are going to be needing to do a lot of damage with your weapons, which will come into the exotic weapon we're using, which I will get into that when we move on to our weapons. And then your super stat, Mobius Quiver's getting a buff. All the damage you can pump into this is going to be great because it will just increase the amount of damage you're doing with your super. So, for our mods, on our helmet, we are running a Harmonic Siphon. Two Harmonic Siphons. Weapon Final Blows will create Orbs of Power. And then we're running a Special Ammo Finder because our Void Weapon is a special ammo type, and we'll want to be sure we are getting plenty of ammo for that. Now I am running a class mod on this one to get our class up over 100. On our gauntlets, we are running, again, another class mod just to get our class mod up a little bit. I am running a plus grenade minus health on this as well because it just gets my grenade up a little bit higher and I don't need the health stat primary on this. We're running a momentum transfer. Causing damage with grenade increases or reduces your melee cooldown. We're running a firepower, which is grenade final blows create orbs of power, just getting us another orb of power. And then we're running impact induction, causing damage with a powered melee, reduces the grenade cooldown. Same reason we're running the momentum transfer, just using the two abilities to get the other abilities back. On our chest armor, we are running weapon mods and a plus weapons minus health mod on this. And then we have a Harmonic Siphon on there. You can run whatever the damage type you want to. And then I have concussive dampeners on because AoE damage is a pain and I like to have at least one concussive dampener on everything. However, you could swap this out for another reduction of whatever damage type you're going to be running into. On our legs, we are running another weapons mod, and then we're running just the balance tuning because this is a plus health and we don't need health on this build. And then for the other mods, we're running 2 innervations. And what this does is on pickup of an orb of power, our grenade cooldown is reduced. And then we're running a void weapon surge just to increase our void weapon damage. And last but not least, we are running the Hunter Cloak, and we have another weapons mod on there, and then we have another plus grenade minus health. we're running Outreach, which reduces melee cooldown when we use our class ability. You could swap this for a Bomber. You could also swap this for Distribution, which would reduce all ability cooldowns when using your class ability. And then we have a Reaper on to basically anytime we use our class ability, our next weapon Final Blow is going to create an orb of power. And then Powerful Attraction, every time we use our class ability, we're going to suck all nearby orbs of power to us, which will help us keep that Devour up and collect all of the nearby orbs of power. Moving right along to our weapons. In the primary slot, whatever you're comfortable with, I'm using a Scout Rifle so that I have something to take down barrier champions. And then in our secondary slot, the primary weapon we're going to be using is the Choir of One Auto Rifle. Now, I have the Destabilizing Rounds refit on it. You can run another one of the catalysts on it if you want to. However, I recommend the Destabilizing Rounds for this because it will create a volatile burst every time you kill an enemy with it, and that in turn will continue that weakening effect and allow you to go invisible more often. It can be the start to your gameplay loop of invisibility. It can also just continue it. And in the final slot, I have the Outrageous Fortune. Once Renegades comes out, I will be farming for the Void machine gun that they're going to have, because I think that's going to be a better fit there. If you do have a Void weapon that you like a lot, you can throw it in this slot as well. Now, to showcase this build, we are going to be running the Conflux solo on A+ difficulty. Here are the mods we're running. We're running a highest void damage increase. We're running Rage and Caltrops, and then we're running Counterfeit, as well as Pressure Cooker to decrease the amount of time we have, and we'll be on that timer. There are Barrier and Overload champions, which we have weapons to handle those. So let's jump straight into it. Okay, starting off here, we're going to see what we got. We got weapon takedowns, which actually works out well for this build since we're primarily going to be using weapons. If you prefer ability takedowns or something like that, absolutely reset and just run it back until you get the challenge that you want to run. Now, starting off, we're going to throw the grenade. We're going to get these guys weakened. Create that invisibility. And there's our Trapper's Ambush, getting us invisibility. We have Devour now. And you can see we can just kind of shred through all these enemies as we have void buffs and everything else. The beauty of Graviton Forfeit is you're just basically going to be invisible 24/7 because of the increase to void invisibility. Again, enemies spawn over there. We're going to throw the grenade. We're going to get them tagged up, weakened, so that we can go invisible right away. And just bop them with the gun. And you can see just how easy it is just to take out waves and waves of enemies. Even the Overload champion stands no chance here. The beautiful thing about going invisibility, especially against Vex targets here, is you never really have to worry about them chasing you down or something like they like to do. Because they can't see you to do so. So like all these imp swarms and stuff, you kill the host and then the other ones come at you. Not only do the void explosions kill half of them, so they can't really chase you down, but then you're able to also hide from them while you're invisible. There's nothing they can do about it. Ugh. Ah, butts. I didn't kill him fast enough. Oh no! That's not good. I am out of ammo. We might just have to let him integrate. Just because I don't have a way to stun him without my assault rifle. Till we get our super. So we might just have to run around and play hide and seek with him for a second. While we get our super. That is the hard thing of using a special ammo build. So if you don't have special ammo, or you don't get lucky and get enough drops, then you don't have the ammo to kill him. I need him to hold still. Blast him there. Blast him there. And we got him low enough. Haha! Perfect. And of course, there was an ammo box hiding here. I didn't see it. Had I seen it, we could have killed him a lot faster. That's okay. Now we got full ammo for the next area. We still need another 15 weapon kills, which kind of blows, but that's all good. This next area has tons of enemies, and we have plenty of time. We don't have Devour right now, so we're not getting health back on kills, but now we will. Perfect. We can just get visible here. There we go. There's all our weapon kills. And everything else. Plus we're invisible again, so we can just go rock this guy super easily. Well, that didn't work for some reason. Look how much damage on the prowl just did there. They are. I was wondering where my breach was. We gotta go down there to get the other one. It's weird. Sometimes they spawn down below, and sometimes they don't. I'm not sure what the trigger is for that. Or if it's just like I didn't kill it fast enough before it went down there. We've almost got our super back again. Which is nice. I might get it before the end of this. If not, that's okay. Nah. Kill this guy too quick. But you can see there, like, I was only ever in danger when I ran out of special ammo, but once we were in a group where there was a ton of enemies all the time, I don't think I ever was close to running out of special ammo. So you can kind of see how strong this build is now, and 3 aspects of it are getting buffed in Renegades. So this thing is going to just be absolutely insane. You're going to be able to spam abilities like crazy. So I recommend picking it up, giving it a try tomorrow once the Renegades update comes out. The update for all of the exotics and all the abilities and stuff is free for everyone. It's not limited to those who have gotten Renegades. So keep that in mind. If you don't have Renegades, that's not gonna hinder you from playing this build. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscription down below. Subscribe so you don't miss any more of these build showcases. We're going to be pumping a lot of them once Renegades comes out. And then you can leave a comment of a build you like that you would like me to showcase. Peace.